Hello everyone. Today is the vernal equinox, which is the midpoint between winter solstice and summer solstice. Everything is sprouting and growing, the birds are tweeting, and this is one of the busiest times on the farm because we're starting all our seeds, and I'm really buzzing at the moment, getting on with it. I'm so excited to be out there and getting out in my garden again after such a long and difficult winter. It's been so wet and soggy, and I do apologise for not vlogging during that time, but I'm back now, and that's the most important thing. So keep watching because there's going to be some great videos over the summer season. So I supply a veg box to the community of and the villages around St Austell. So as the season progresses, we will be having a lot of produce going from the farm. At the moment, this time of year is known as the hungry gap. It's when there's not really a lot going on in the garden. There's not a lot growing, and I personally don't grow a lot of brassicas or winter crops. My area of garden and this whole area is very, very rocky, and we have a lot of granite. So under the ground is thick with stones, and as I'm reclaiming my garden area, I'm pulling out a lot of rock, big rocks. So I don't do very well with deep rooting crops. So I'm prioritising on salad crops and crops that are more shallow growth. Do really well with squash because we have wonderful fertile compost from all the animals here, so I can really get good beds going for courgette and summer squash. So this is my bag of seed that things I have already seeded. So we have spinach armada, we have can lettuce, which is a sort of frilly tall lettuce, great for picking for salad bags, which is what we do here on the farm. These are cherry bell radish, so we've seeded a lot of those. Now I have seeded a line of this. These are Frenchy seeds, which I really like. This is a special Eden project, which is local to us, Tuscan mix. So again, these are for salad leaves, for picking individual leaves. I've seeded some of these. This is early to seed these. They haven't germinated yet. I've seeded them outside under a cloche, and I may be too early, but there's still quite a bit of seed in here, so I can get another load going, and I will buy some more of this for this summer. We have white Lisbon spring onions, so I'll be growing quite a lot of those this summer. Green salad bowl. This is quite a really hardy summer lettuce. And we have durian. I don't actually know if I've sown any of these yet. Now, earlier in the season, in February, I started about 1,000 seeds of lettuce, and I used a soil blocker. These varieties of lettuce, and because it was so wet, they all grew. They were all growing lovely on my windowsill. They all sprouted, but the cats, it was just really, really wet for that particular point from the end of February till about a week ago. And the cats were in here in the shed a lot, and they scratched all the seedlings out. So I lost pretty much the whole lot, which was annoying, to say the least. But, you know, that's what we have to deal with here sometimes in the weather. So I've had to restart everything all over again this month. So we're a little bit behind, but there's still a lot of things beginning to sprout now. This is Lolo Rosso. It's a nice frilly, crispy lettuce that goes well in a salad bag in a mix. So we've got some of these on the go. Corn salad. And here we are. This is my windowsill. So we have corn salad. Oh, we have some little gems here. Didn't mention those. And these are all the other lettuce that we've got going. And the spinach here. Marvel of Four Seasons was another one I didn't mention. That is a nice sort of red and green leafy lettuce. So lots and lots of different varieties. And now, as you see, I've got this netted. Now, I had this netted before when the cats got into my seedlings. But I've actually tied this down now with a good old trusty baler twine that is something that all farmers have a lot of on the land, on the farm. So we utilise that. And so, yeah, they're nicely fixed on now. And that is keeping the cats off my seedlings. So hopefully we won't have any more losses. And here is one of the culprits. This is Starsky. He's having a little snooze on the sofa next to me. So there we go. Yes, what did you do? Did you scratch out all the seedlings? Yes, you did. Right, let's go out into the garden and have a look around. So I've got quite a lot of my beds prepped, ready to sow and get going. And I'm just impatient now because it's, you know, we're waiting for the seedlings to get bigger before they can be planted out. You've got to be careful at this time of year because there's still a lot of frost, potential for frost between now and the end of April. So we've got another month really before the soil really warms up. So, you know, I've got to kind of be patient and not plant too early. So at the moment it's still, yeah, a lot of bed prepping, a lot of weeding, digging out those dock leaves before they get too strong and too powerful. No, lovey. Oh, there you go. Oh, oh, kisses, kisses. Oh, thank you. She's a livestock guardian dog. She's a Marama. So they're originally from Italy. And they're very good around the livestock, so they're a good farm dog. Here is the bucket of soil that I've just sieved. It's beautiful. This is just straight from this pile here. So you can see that there's a lot of wood chip. This is all the wood that's come out from that bin, dumpy bag. And I'm putting it here on the edges. And then I've got another pile of wood chip, which is come from a local tree surgeon, this stuff, which is much finer, and I'll put that on the top. But as this is a dip between this bed and the grass, it will make a nice barrier. And it just neatens everything up, as you can see from this end. So this bed is a prepared bed. I've got to put manure it. In here we've got some of this lovely composted wood, compost on the strawberry plants. They'll love that. And in the cloches we have some seedlings. These are radish. Got more radish under here, under this fleece. And gosh, they're really coming up. Let's have a look. Take the net off. So, a lot of radish growing there. Get this off. This is Lilandi. It's in the wood chip. It's quite acidic, so just want to keep it on the paths. But yeah, these are all doing really well. Here we have a row of spinach. 10 plants there. Some of these look a bit... I don't think these are going to make it. Or this one, maybe it will. But some of them are stronger. I've got more spinach I've seeded, so I've just got to keep sowing, keep seeding it. To be quite honest, spinach goes. So in the trays here we have, these are spring onions, and I'm very limited on space at the moment. So I don't actually have a lot of space to germinate things. So these have come out into the garden under the fleece, and we'll just have to see how they go. Spring onions don't need to be too much warmth, so hopefully they germinate out here. And I've done some broad beans as well. I'm a bit late really. I could have done these broad beans a lot earlier, but they should go. Could do with a bit more soil on them really. I'll get a bit more soil over those seeds in a moment. Hope, what are you doing? Hello? Hello, my lovely, what are you up to? Oh, careful, watch your paws. Hello? Yes. Are you barking at people? Yeah. Good girl. Good girl. Yes. Okay, so these are my lettuce beds, and I've dug them all over, pulled out all the weeds. There were too many weeds in these beds actually, which was good, and put a layer of municipal compost on the top and some compost from my compost bin here, so I can pull it out the bottom. All layered up. It's a layer of manure from the horse under there, and then food waste on the top. So we like to mix greens and browns, and it makes lovely compost. It comes out the bottom. A lot of eggshell in there as well, which is good for calcium on the land. This bed is all prepped for carrots, so I'll be getting those in the ground quite soon. They'll be direct sown. This is all being pulled off the land. It's all grass, and I'll be taking this all to the pigs. So all the pigs that are penned, like Rosie over there, will get some of this grass. They'll sift through that and pull out all the roots and eat the roots and the worms and whatever they can find in there. This bed will be a squash bed this year. Bit of grass. So in here I put down, for those who may have been following my vlog, you may remember that I mucked out the chicken coop after the summer, so probably about October time, and just put that all directly. It was already quite rotted. It'd been in these chicken house all summer. I put that directly onto the land, so that was quite a lot of months ago, so that's all well rotted now, and this has had a few layers of compost put on top, so topsoil, and I'll be manuring it some more. So this bed will be really, really fertile. It's just perfect for squash. They'll do really well here. This is also going to be dug out. This is this section here under this pile of grass this is what we do. We reclaim it and put down big thick wads of cardboard, and then so that needs to be all. I can just put soil on top of that. And plant straight into it. So that needs finishing. The plant here is called Angelica, and it's really, really popular with the bees. And I have a massive patch on the land where it grows wild. So I took some of it's a sort of rooted tubers, and put them in a pot. And so I've got some in the garden. I plan to plant it, find a good place to plant it at some point. So if we come over here, I can show you where the line of fence that we've recently fixed. I can see here how soggy it is underfoot. This was even worse when we actually did the fixing of this fence. So we had to cut the trees back here and all the way along and build this fence line, because as you can see, this area was where the pigs were escaping. There's a little spot here where they were getting out and across the waterway and out onto the field. So we fixed the line. There was already a line there, so they were good to there, but they were then getting round and just wading along the edge and getting out. They don't mind getting wet, they love it. Now you can see the bottom of the fences here. We have wood. That stops them digging underneath. And so we fixed it all the way along here and through here. And here is a natural sort of barrier. They can't really get through this bit. They may eventually eat their way through. So we put a pallet in, and the wire's still there. So if we ever need to, if this all dies back for some reason, or if they trample it down or eat their way through this tree, we can always extend the line in the future. But when I first put the pigs into this area, this was all bramble here, this entire area. So they've eaten their way through it slowly. And this is a big area. This is probably an acre at least, if not more. This entire area where the pigs are. It's a big tract of land, and they love it here. It's great for them. So it's quite boggy. There's boggy section. It's very, very muddy underfoot. And they sort of changed the layout of it over the years, and they've pulled out all this bramble. This line of brambles here, which they've mostly all dug out. They dig them out of the roots. See here, they pull them up. This is all now dead, a lot of it. And there was a lot more of it. Some of them are still living. Still some alive bramble here. But slowly they're reclaiming this whole area. As you can see all the, I mentioned earlier, all the granite we have on the land. Big rocks, just naturally everywhere. This is a plant that is, first generation of woodland. So the gorse will grow, other trees can then pop up in and around it. If we clamber through here, there's little clearings. So if I'm crouching down now, so this is pig level. This is pig world. They have runs all underneath these trees. It's quite dry, there's lots of needles on the ground and they just dig around in here. So they've dug out all this bramble. Still a bit of a bramble hedge here, that's just a natural hedge line. The other side of it is like a big pond. It's like a wallow. They've dug it all out here in the middle. You saw the waterway around the edge where we fenced over that way. So there's a natural ditch, which is the boundary of this area. But they've dug out all in the middle and it's collected the water, which has actually really helped because we used to flood out on the field in that direction. Here on the ground are foxgloves, so these will all be flowering this year, and they've all sprung up. There's more and more of them each year. They are poisonous, foxglove, and but the pigs don't eat them, they just leave them alone. Right, if I take you over this side of the land, pig area that we fenced, I have to climb over the fence here, climb out, and then back in again, because I can't get around the trees any other way. We're now at the edge, the other edge of the gorse wood, and I call this area Crackling wood because at certain times of the year it just makes this crackling noise and you walk around and it's crackling everywhere. So here we are on the outer perimeter of Crackling wood, and they have this natural stream. This is fresh water. It's a running stream. You can see that it's very clear water, and they don't poo in here. They keep this clean. This is their drinking water. So I don't have to put water down for these pigs because they have a natural fresh water source, which is wonderful for them. So if I pull back here, you can see I'm now on the edge of the area. This is the fence line at the other end of the pig land, and there's a field behind, which is another bit of our pasture. Fencing this area for pigs was a real labour of love. It took us about 2 years, but we did it in sections because it was all thick bramble all along here. So that bit is not actually wire fenced at all, it is just a bramble patch, and they haven't eaten their way out yet. So you can see here this fence line, and various areas you see they erode. Pigs dig out and they dig underneath. So we've got stock fencing. I mean, this is made for sheep. And this is all we can get in this country. We don't have cattle panels like they do in America. So we just roll out this wire and we put wood along the bottom. So this has all been patched up with whatever we can find at various points. Oh, look, we have another hole here. So I'll be coming down here later today and we'll put another piece of wood in there, another gravel board. Here, just the end of the line, we've got a few pallets thrown in, all tangled around with bramble. I think they're even just tied in there. There's a few posts. I mean, some of it is really rickety. This section, I just buried the fence line, the fence into the ground. There's a waterway the other side of it, so it's a steep bank. They haven't actually got out there yet. So we constantly have to come around here. There's another hole here, looking for holes. And slowly we put in more wood and fence underneath. At the moment, this time of year, when it warms up, they're really just happy in their area. So they haven't come out. None of this digging on the field is recent. So now we're coming to the end of Crackling Wood and the end of my land, actually. And there's a big waterway here. It's a steep bank. And again, this was all bramble, this side of the fence. And they've just eaten their way round. I mean, we didn't have to fence this. This was 2 years in, having pigs here, that we eventually fenced this section. This bit was quite good. Some of the areas we've actually used the trees. You can see here we've attached the fence to a tree. Just straight along there. So now at the other end of Crackling Wood, and I've fenced behind me. I have a line of electric all the way along here. And to be honest, this doesn't keep the pigs in. It kept them in for a while, but it doesn't keep them in. Now, part of the reason is that pigs are clever creatures. As you can see here, they have buried the fence, which earths it out, which means that they can clamber out. So if I pull that off, now this line is low. I'm going to heighten it a bit because they're getting bigger now. We had the pigs roaming behind this electric wire fence that I've put all the way around here. But they've done a lot of damage, as you can see behind me, digging up this field where they got out. They haven't dug it over as much as the area inside the electric. Now they are shut into that pig area, and I've taken the electric line off. Here's Hope. Hello, my lovely girl. There's Sunny, the horse, and the goats, Sweet Pea and Fruitcake. And I'm now going to go and retrieve my wheelbarrow and buckets and take them back up to the yard. Let's go and see Sunny. Hello, Sunny.